Good evening, my name is Cadet Rogers, and tonight I will be walking you through a point ambush on objective Copperhead designated to 1st Platoon within Alpha Company. The situation is that elements of Area Honor Forces are conducting operations within Area of Operations Wolverine. They are defending key communication nodes, mortar firing positions, and caches throughout the AO. Their goal is to seize and hold terrain while disrupting U.S. forces. We will be operating in AO Wolverine, which is in Preston Province, West Virginia. Therefore, the terrain may be unstable and include rolling steep hills with sharp rocks. And the weather is expected to be dry for at least the next 5 to 7 days, with a high temperature of 60 degrees and a low of 42. Area Honor Forces are operating in team and squad size elements. They use major resupply routes and are known to put IEDs along highly trafficked areas. Uniforms are consistent of black clothing with OCP patterned trousers. Enemy forces use small arms, 60mm mortars, and effective maneuverability and dispersion into 2-man buddy teams. Their most likely course of action is to defend key terrain and return fire when engaged. They also conduct multiple probing attacks of static positions and combined with possible indirect fire integration. Their most deadly course of action could potentially include reinforcements of platoon-sized quick reaction forces within 10 minutes of engagement. Friendly forces. The U.S. forces are currently conducting offensive and defensive operations at the platoon size level. We'll be working along 2nd and 3rd Platoon within Alpha Company. Medevac assets are available for this mission within the dependence of METTC. Civilians are displaced due to Area Honor influence, but are not known to associate with the Area Honor Forces. The mission, Alpha Company, 1st Platoon, will conduct a point ambush on objective Copperhead within AO Wolverine no later than the 5th of April at 2000 hours 2020. They will eliminate enemy forces on the objective and look for any PIR. Execution. The commander's intent is to protect civilian population and infrastructure, which will build popular support for the U.S. forces. It will also degrade Area Honor forces and influence in the AO to return governmental control to the host nation forces. Key tasks are killing or capturing Area Honor forces and holding terrain within AO Wolverine, while preserving a minimum of 85% of friendly forces for follow-on operations. The end state is the degradation of Area Honor military forces and influence within AO Wolverine. Concept of operations. Alpha Company 1st Platoon will attack Area Honor forces at objective Copperhead, disrupting Area Honor forces from establishing bases of influence within AO Wolverine. The scheme of maneuver. 1st Platoon will conduct a point ambush at objective Copperhead, which is located at Papa Delta 1613 6170. I repeat, Papa Delta 1613 6170, no later than 05 at 2000 hours on April 2020. The way this point ambush will be executed will be a standard ambush procedure. I selected the ORP site to be about 200 meters out from objective Copperhead, as there was no terrain features to hide behind. Therefore, this river on the opposite bank is about 200 meters away. Once we reach the objective rally point, we will set up a cigar-shaped cells halt, and we will set up our apexes and begin preparation for the leader's recon. The leader's recon will include myself, 2 of my assistant gunners, 4 riflemen to set up observation and listening points, my RTO, the Weasel, and another 2 riflemen to set up the rear security of the rear LPOP. I'll set up my security elements to isolate the objective as well as the rear LPOP to make sure there are no flanks. I will then radio to my PSG to bring the rest of the platoon in, leaving 1 element of Assault 2 at the ORP with all the rucks to make sure the ORP isn't compromised and to make sure our rucks are not tampered with. The gun teams, which are represented by these rooks, will be set up on the ends of Assault 1 and Assault 2 respectively. Which will put them in a position to isolate the objective. Once the assault commences. The PSG and the medic will remain in the rear and will have a roaming casualty collection point. Once the enemy is in position on the objective, I will initiate the ambush. I will be online, but for the sake of all these pieces not fitting, I'm in between first and second element, but I will initiate the ambush. Then the gun teams will have hopefully isolated the kill zone. And when I see fit, I will call for a shift fire. The gun teams and the assault teams will switch their target reference points. And then I will call a lift fire. Once I call the lift fire, Assault 1 will bound across the objective to an LOA. And then Assault 2 will also bound to this LOA using team bounding. Since Assault 2 will be missing a fire team, they will use buddy bounding. Assault 1 will have the primary EPW team, which will check the objective for any PIR and to make sure that there are no booby traps or anything of that nature. They will also have the primary aid and litter, which will then go through and collect any casualties. Assault 2 will have the primary demo team. And that will be the last step of actions on the objective. Once this is complete, the PSG will withdraw along with Assault 1. Assault 2 will withdraw. Except for the demo team. The gun teams will withdraw with the security. And then I, along with the demo team and my RTO, will withdraw with the last LPOP back to the ORP. Once we are back at the ORP, we will send up any salute reports as well as LACE reports and call in any medevac if it hasn't already been done so. Or if it hasn't already been done. We will then set up a patrol base at the ORP to prepare for any counterattacks and set up a defensive position. Coordinating instructions, our uniforms will be OCPs with Flicks, ACH's iPro, glove, water source, and our Ranger handbooks. The reporting requirements, any friendly, enemy, or civilian casualties. PIR-1, any contact with Ariana forces larger than a squad-sized element. PIR-2, routes of ingress-egress utilized by Ariana forces. And PIR-3, known Ariana mortar positions or use of indirect fire by Ariana. Sustainment. Supply Class 1, water resupply will be available and cadets will top off before step off. Class 5, blank ammunition will be given to cadets prior to step off. Class 8, CLS bag is available upon request. Transportation, medevac is available upon request. And you can request medevac via a standard 9-line medevac format. Command and signal, the location of the commander, the platoon leader, myself, will be located within AO Wolverine, and the company commander will be located at AA Tiger Shark. The succession of command will be myself, 1st PL, then the 1st Platoon PSG, then the Weasel or 4th Squad leader, and then the 1st Squad leader. And that is my OPORD for the point ambush on Objective Copperhead.